I have in mine, okay, and I realized like we're doing just sort of a cursory, like a brief look at this before we get into the birth chart actually in a couple of weeks. But now how close can I get it without being too close even? But so this house I'm going to read, this house 8 I'm going to read in this direction, okay, and then this house 8. And why 8? Because I was thinking about money. I read in this direction, but what's coming through my Leo, see, I'm coming from 9, and then over here I'm coming from 9, and they're working towards each other. Then we have this overlap of 10 and 8, okay, but here, so coming this way we have 8, 9, 10. I'm going to reverse the order of the cards. And I fucking did it again. Okay, because I counted that as the 8 of Wands. And I'd really go 8, 9, 10 of Wands. I'd work it in this direction because I read the uneven houses in that direction. So my 10 of Wands are right there in Leo then. And down here, I'm working at this direction, 8, 9, 10 of Wands. And that's right past my Saturn. And that's hitting right before Lionsgate portal. Okay, so all that completion energy there and there. And here is where I see it stuck. But it's not, because what's stuck is back over here in Uttara Falguni. That's where the money karma is. And I thought it was more here. So this is what I've got to figure out, is we go from the non-fiction to the fiction writing, which is completely on point. But the non-fiction and the fiction work. And so if it's more performance, or if it's more, like however this factors in, we're not all performers, we're not all actors. So how does this affect everybody in their charts, right? But we all have to be, even if we're introverts, we still have, well, introverts are extremely expressive. They, you know, they flip, we flip. So the question being, like, I've got this 9 coming this direction and the 9 coming this direction, and then the 8 and the 10. So my focus sort of became these crossing energies of the two ninth houses, even though I've got the 10th here overlapping with the 8th. And this is the story in my mind. This is how the story of my life, my state of being, okay? Not so much how it plays out, but my state of being, and my strategy in my state of being, because that's what 10th turns out to be. 8th, if we're looking to that in terms of money and professional and work spirit guides, okay? So we're looking at those 10 wands coming from this direction and this direction, and sort of the crushing point, the 10 wands being, for me, all of the writing. So if that gives you any ideas of like how to look at yours in terms of action and emphasis, yes? Plus my North Node right there on that edge, and my Saturn right there on this edge, plus Lionsgate portal, yes? So all of these things, but I do need to correct over here then. So I'll, for next time, I'll figure out, see, I put it as 8 of Wands reversed, and it should be 10 of Wands, and I would put it as reversed, yes? A retro action. And that's that, yeah. See, I've got a change, okay? Perceptions, accuracy, because we're going to make decisions based on the wrong information. So now, then we get out our sun information, right? Because the sun rules 5th house. And so, what did I made instincts and triggers. 12. I think I'm looking at repeats of 5 as well. 60 cycles. So I gotta add that to Rick's information as well, because he's turning 60. And I knew that that would be a Pluto-Mars thing. That's right. Right. Base 60 because we divided it into 12, like the way we count time. Okay? That's all calendar work and clockwork. Also, and then we go back to Michael Smith on base 12 and base 10 numerologies. And that'll help explain what I mean by base 60. All math talk. Okay? More mom energy. Interesting. Okay. Abused by a certain doctor. Yes. Teaching my friends how to master. Well, yeah. There we go. During sleepovers, I was age 5 when I was doing that. And I was like, no, it wasn't from abuse or anything like that. It's from my Leo placements. That's what that is. Okay. And on that note, let's do a reading. Yay! But is there anything else? Oh, what I want to mention, of course. Now I have several key people in my life whose birthdays are there, and 4 of my main spirit guides are Leo sons. One is a Leo, but the others were Virgos, but, well, the sun was still in Leo. And then, of course, we have the murder of Diana and what I call the murder of Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter. Now, I realize those are 2 white people. However, I will find other people that have been murdered there and, you know, keep it even. No! What I also, Gwendolyn McKinnon. Okay, now what I also need to remember is one of my own, at least one, Jazz. Yes. Thanks to Jazz, I have the blue rose. Now, Jazz was a teenager. I cleaned for her aunt a few years ago. And it's the first place I found something blue when I was looking for the color blue, a specific color. I was keeping an eye out for Tracy because her daughter Karina, who was murdered in 2017 by the, corrupt, but, well, we still want a new inquest, so, and the inquest was canceled by the same coroner that called for the inquest in the first place. But even the cops lied about her death, okay? They put out a false report to the newspapers lied about her death. And like when I say lie, they put her body in a whole other place. They called it a suicide, and she was actually strangled in the chapel of Regina Kelly Hostel in Belfast, and they're closing that hostel down right now, this month. But, so I was watching out for a particular color blue. And then there was this blue rose on the coffee table in Carolyn's home. And I photographed it without asking for permission because I thought it would sound stupid. But I was too shy. It was the first time cleaning there. And then I talked to her about it later on because I felt very compelled to message Carolyn on September 3rd. I was there in July. And I felt very compelled to message her on the 3rd of September, and I held off a day, and I messaged her on the 4th, and I said, I just feel like I need to send you a tremendous amount of love right now, and I'm not sure why, and it's going to sound strange. She's like, no, actually, it's the day that we pulled Jazz off of life support after being on it for a few days because her boyfriend had strangled her, and her boyfriend's mother had played for time. Carolyn and her sister had to break the door down to get to Jazz. They knew something was wrong. They got to the house, to the boyfriend's mother's house. and she stalled and stalled them, and then they got inside, and it was locked from the inside. They got inside, but they didn't get help to Jazz. They couldn't get help to her fast enough. The mom had done her job. It's all drugs related, because not that Jazz was stuck on anything. She wasn't. The cops did not secure the location. They did arrive. They were there for it. They did not do anything to investigate the location. They did nothing to investigate the murder. And it has gone on without any justice for Jazz, or any justice at all, period. And so we know that that kid is, the boyfriend and his mother are tied to secret operations with the cops. And that's where my whole Blue Rose story really kicked off, because then when I messaged Jazz's aunt, when I messaged Carolyn about this, then she told me why. And so this is the first time that I really understand that I'm coming into work as somebody, as an advocate for murder victims. I had several other instances of, coming into awareness of this, but that's when it really took off. So this is her time as well. And of course, the Blue Rose thing, if you go watch Twin Peaks at all ever, then, which I only just watched this past year, as documented in this whole series, because my son finally wanted to watch it because of a Japanese game. And so again, the search for the journey to God as Japanese with my son. Yeah. So I need to add Jazz to this. But my grandmother and my mom is a Leo rising. My dad's third house, I believe third house is our comfort zone, and his third house is Leo. Several of my best friends, Leos, and it's been very dominant in my life. My South Node is in Leo. My mom was the classical singer, opera singer, so my whole childhood is a Leo childhood. In terms of when we get to the Falgunis, when we get to Purva and Uttara Falguni, Mega factors into it, because then we get into my ancestors, my Scottish and my Irish ancestors, probably my English as well, Anglo-Saxon, but okay, let's do a reading. Okay, let's just get that old Hierophant card up there and dare it to come through again. Oh. Do we have enough? Okay. So hopefully you have a fairly strong starting point for like a frame of reference for the energy of Leo and the Nakshatras. So remember, male rat, female rat. And you need to say tremendous spirit animals. Mice in particular, which I realize are not rats, but they've just done a huge spiritual work for Tracy by helping her get shifted into permanent housing, because they took over the temporary housing to the point where even the guy sent by the same people abusing her, Northern Ireland housing executive, who we're trying to get into high court again. But the charity commission that functions them are on their asses now for what they've done to Tracy. But the guy that they sent to inspect her home for the rats is so disgusted and is willing to come to court to testify against them that they've been lying all of this time to keep her trapped, that the problem is that bad. So the rats have been absolute angels doing their job. And I told her so. Once I was like, hang on. I studied. I was having mice dreams. I was having termite. I was having, they were giving me all kinds of dreams back in August. It's all documented. I'm trying to remember if it was an Aquarius or Virgo experience, I want to say. Anyway, so I was researching the mice, researching all kinds of animal dreams, and I found this fabulous page of how amazing mice are. It's just like forum posts, basically, with people's stories about what mice have done for them. And it's just the most moving stuff. Animals are just, they are the angels. They are the angels. They're the only angels I trust. Everything else, I take to be, it doesn't matter to me if they call themselves demon or angel. They're just another being that does the will of somebody that I don't know necessarily. So, if you say the word angel to me, I take it to mean demon just as quickly as I take it to mean anything else. It's like I can't tell you one way or another if I'm happy about it. Okay. So for Leo, Justice. Ooh. Okay. There we go with that repeat of 3. Okay. Good old star under there. I just did a meditation on that. And what was at the bottom? The Magician. Nice. But let's just keep it simple this time with the 1. If we need to remember it's the Magician, then we have it on record. Okay. Read it out. Read it out, Kristen. Perspective. So let's just look at those herons, I believe. We could take, and if they are carrying stork energy, are they storks or herons? Heron. But let's say they carry stork energy as well. So movement is in Lenormand. Movement, okay. When all is said and done, you will receive the outcome that you truly deserve. Okay, so read between the lines of that. Your moral character will be justified, so maintain integrity and strive to balance yourself. Okay. I feel like we're not out of the woods yet. But let's find out. Let's just get the focus back. I even shuffled that deck and we have a very nice Ace of Pentacles. Let's just see. Good median point. Okay. Switched out the light, but I realized, okay, so I had the camera going, but I did not press record. Interesting. Okay. Well, at least we didn't get anywhere off camera. This Justice. What's between the lines? Interesting. From another deck. Bear this in mind. Thanks, Death. Obviously, coming in to make a statement. Thank you, Pamela Coleman Smith. Okay. Oh my God, yeah. Okay. Pretty much 8 of coins. What did I say? We're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. 4 and 4. But more now. Fresh upon my realizations of what 10th house is really all about. Yes, hard at work, but the bigger story, the bigger picture, the deep magic, the deeper magic. Proving yourself to yourself. So it's not just about matrix security. Material security. This is about the big... Ooh, it's squaring off with it. Holy shit, is God himself. For me, because the Empress is goddess. This is God. Now, if you want to take it as a very strong male in your life, okay. But for me, since they're talking through me, and what did I just finish saying about the journey to God, to everything Japanese and my son? So, and when we have it squaring, we have push. We have friction. We have push. Okay? This is a good thing. This is making things move. So deep magic and God. But the masculine God. And of course, Mars energy. Mars energy. Loves and loyalties. And we have Mars, all on its lonesome, hitting Sagittarius, just as the Sun and Venus are. I wonder if Venus is direct already. Did we cover that? The page is far away. Okay. Must be. Hitting Capricorn. Mars is making a solitary journey through Sagittarius. The healing, the deep healing, the truth. Journey. Squaring off. Not with you per se, but with the magic. Making it happen. Steering it. Pushing it. Tremendous amount of love and protection. Wow. Now why at that angle? This portal, Saturn, very maternal energy over here. I find Saturn to end up being, and it's being echoed in what I'm researching through Jyotisha, the Vedic astrology. Saturn and Cancer in particular, even though it rules Capricorn. This has a ways to go. This has a ways to go. Okay. So something is fears, boundaries, calculated risks, but the Saturn placement, but the portal, the beginning, the ending and the beginning, but the portal. Oh, somebody's coming. Now it could be you. One more card. Or two. Okay, other half. Wow. God. So we've progressed from the Knight of Cups to the King of Cups. Now look at this. Oh. Candles are getting to my eyes. We either put them toe to toe or head to head. Let's leave them there for now. Okay, Pisces energy for me, 12th house. The king that wears all the crowns. Not God, because that's God. When things are not, they need to succeed together. They need to succeed together. So this, now, why king versus queen as opposed to queen? Why the king energy, the masculine? I just worked through something earlier in understanding that it's actually the point that was made by Alana Fairchild. I was reading through her notes on the Kali deck that I have, that I was given. And she, like so many, argued that the feminine way of doing things is way more non-linear. But I would argue that I find the feminine to be very linear. And it's the masculine that's like, no, let's just go. Let's just go. And what happens, happens. Right? And I do believe that as someone who has studied and built a curriculum based on my best research on how we actually learn, and the masculine mind is mapped for moving more forwards and backwards, and the female mind has got more cross. It does have more cross action between left and right, but I would say that that contributes to the logic, that contributes to the linear. And it's the two solitudes of the forward, backward action of the separate sides of the mind that requires more trial and error. It requires more experience. It requires more objective knowledge to reach conclusions. So I'm going to say that this has all been made evident to me or pointed out to me within this same day, so that I would bring it up, so that they're highlighting that it is the king in you, the masculine in you, to develop right now in this portal of, yes, less linear. So either the dog, the puppy that doesn't like it when mom leaves home. Doesn't mind when dad does, but doesn't like it when mom does. Anything else to say to that? Yep. Yes. Okay. Echoing that. Venus as justice. Justice, justice. So here we have justice on the table as well. Yeah, we're going to do justice to the masculine. The other, Libra, sense of self, the balance. These are aligned. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Okay, so let's get... But I feel like... I feel like this is who's going to win it, is your inner masculine. I feel like the feminine could actually be too by the book. Totally necessary, absolutely. But look at the structure, look at the hyperstructures, even in tarot world and oracle world, yeah? How many of the decks, how many of the readers are feminine? Yes, which is awesome because, God, the priestesses needed to go somewhere. Absolutely, the church totally drove them out. And we could argue that, well, the church does everything by the Great White Brotherhood book. all churches, all temples, all like they've all been co-opted by the Great White Brotherhood, regardless of country. They're everywhere and have been for centuries, thousands of years. And they all worship. They secretly harness and deserve the Great Mother. And they also set up a false masculine so that you don't have the right idea of the true masculine God. I'm not saying you don't have the right. You might have exactly the right idea. I should word things differently. But based on the point, it's the absolute total mastermind energy. I realize I probably don't have her in the shot. So let's just pull everything up. Oh, my own cat is calling now. One of them. Okay. So but yeah, we have 3 major arcana out of a 5 card read. Here we go. Here we go. And we have 1 action card and 1 person card. So you have very little choice over what's going on right now. Very little choice, but to prove yourself to yourself. That 8. Go time. Strength and 8. Okay, I've run out of camera space, so I'm just going to quickly pull and read. And here we go. The Empress. To go with the Emperor. I haven't had her before. Get my hand out of the light. Enjoy.